welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joshua Hines and this is Construction Junction. This morning, we're starting in Owens Mills. It's Monday morning. We have an insurance project that we're working on today. So what happened was we had a flood out during a storm, failure to the sub pump, and flooded out maybe, it's less than a foot deep. So one of the things that we also do at Springdale Construction is we do insurance projects but we specifically work for the client. We don't have contracts with insurance companies because our focus is to satisfy the homeowners themselves, not necessarily the insurance companies. So what we do is that we come in and we work for the homeowner in the sense of we make sure that the claim is satisfied fully. We make sure that you get the amount of money that's due, that's necessary for the claim, and make sure you get your replacement value. And that's the important part about insurance projects, insurance jobs, that you have a contractor that is well versed in working with different insurance companies and able to get your place back to the way it was before the loss. So let's just take a look at what we got here. So as you can see, we have less than a foot worth of water. I think it came in maybe at like 2 inches deep. But when you have a basement that you live out of and it's a living space and you're utilizing, 2 inches of water is a lot. As you can see, the basement was done correctly when it was finished originally. They do have pressure treated wood at the bottom there, so that's helpful in the sense that you don't have to change all of that out. But it is important that we get here and we get all the water out. We run our humidifiers and fans at commercial level so that this space can get dried out behind the wall. It takes mold about 48 to 72 hours to begin, and when you have insulation in these exterior walls, mold will occur within that 24, 48, 72 hours at the most. And from that point on, it'll start to grab to everything in here. It'll grab to the 2x4s, it'll grab to the wall back there, and most importantly, it's going to grab to that drywall. So it has to get open, it has to get completely dried out before you can start to put things back in place. Very important, because say we just opened up a few holes and we didn't address the fact that this drywall over here may have gotten wet, and you just leave it there and you maybe just fix some areas that cracked. What'll begin to happen is the next 2 weeks to a month, you're gonna begin to smell mold in this basement, because mold grows in dark, wet places, and behind that wall is the perfect place for it to grow. And it'll first grow on the back side of the drywall and come all the way up the wall, all the way as far as it can go. Then it's gonna start coming on the outside and on the baseboards. So what you gotta do is you gotta get that stuff out of here as fast as possible and get some air blowing around dehumidifies to suck all that moisture out of the air. And that's what we've done here. So now what we got to do is we'll come along here, reinstall the insulation back in place. You can see they have insulation on the exterior walls here that they've taken out, so we'll reinstall that and we'll put drywall in place, finish it, sand it, paint it, put the baseboard, shoe molding back in. And when we do these jobs, if we touch a wall, we have to paint the entire wall. So for instance, this wall here, the fact that we have to touch the bottom or any other wall, when we finish it, sand it, prime it, we have to paint all the way to the corner. So if you touch a wall, you gotta go corner to corner to make it back to the way it was. You know, nothing feathered out, no shortcuts or anything like that. So that's what we'll go ahead and get started doing. We'll go ahead and run the time lapse. Hopefully this video is educational. If you live in the DC, Baltimore, Virginia area, give us a call. We can come out and take care of your insurance jobs, any kind of insurance job you have at your home. We can definitely take care of. So give us a call. Link is below. Our socials are below. You can contact us through that. So here we go. Alright, so we're just now getting into this insurance project, the putback portion of the project. And you can see these insurance projects are pretty straightforward. We're just putting back what was damaged, what was taken out, what got wet, now that everything is dried inside. So we're just going to run right through this. And again, we use mesh tape, so you can't really see it there, but it's like a clear white tape that Jez was putting on first before he was applying the mud, the first coat. Alright, so we've jumped forward a little bit. You can see we have the walls completely finished, sanded, primed, and painted. And we're working on the baseboard at this point. Jez is caulking the baseboard to the wall. And we're working on baseboard and shoe molding. So we're just continuing to work the room here, installing the baseboard and the shoe molding. As you can see, a lot of times there are a lot of furniture or items in the room that we have to contend with, which makes the job a little bit more difficult for these insurance projects. And just keep in mind, like a lot of the things that were in this basement have been removed or damaged caused by the water. So this is just what we were able to save. So we try to keep it protected as much as possible.
so that everything is good to go once we finish up.
Alright, so that's gonna end the video right there for today, and you can see we got everything back in place. Now the only thing left for the client to do is to bring their stuff back in. A lot of times people will have clothes or other items, rugs even, in a basement that will get sent out to dry cleaning or cleaning in general. And so those items will come back into the space. The space will be arranged back, and you know, this job is now done. Now let's just talk about insurance projects in general. So they can be very stressful. I mean, you come home from a hard day's work to come to find out you have a busted pipe or your sub pump failed, and now you got 2 feet worth of water in your basement. It's one of the most stressful things in the world, you know. So what do you do next is the question. And so first thing to do is to see if you still have a busted pipe and it's still running, at which you can go and shut the water off to your home. You know, make sure you don't have anything dangerous involved, because in the basement you do have electrical outlets. If water gets to those, the power should shut off at the main box, but that's something you have to be concerned about. And the water, if it's a busted pipe and it's still coming in, you know, you want to stop the water flow so you can always get to your water main and shut that off as well. If you don't feel comfortable with going downstairs because of any of those reasons, you can call your local fire department, and they will come in and make sure it's safe to go downstairs to cut those items off for you. The next thing you need to do is to contact your homeowner's insurance. You don't want to try to attack this yourself first. You know, like I said, you want to turn the water off. You want to make sure that the main electrical systems are off. But you want to contact your homeowner's insurance just to make sure, because there's more than what meets the eye. Say you go down there and you immediately try to pump the water out and try to get rid of the water, right? You don't know all of the damage that has been done by that water. Water is one of the most strongest things we have on this earth, and so water can get anywhere. It can affect a lot of different things, so you want to make sure you call your homeowner's insurance. That's why you have it, to protect you in the case that you have a failure in one way, one fashion, one form. So give them a call. They will lead you in the right direction. Secondarily, it's important in general, if you own a home or you own a business, to have a contractor that you trust, because how the system is set up through the insurance company is they will have contractors on file, right, that they use in specific regions, specific areas for their insurance projects. A lot of times these companies are overworked and underpaid, right? Insurance companies try to get away as cheap as they can, just like anybody else. So again, it comes down to the quality of the work that you're willing to have in your home, and who are you willing to have in your home. Those two things, right? Just like you have to have a good, solid mechanic, you need a good, solid contractor that you can call for advice. That's the third call that you make. The third thing that you do when you have an insurance claim, right? Insurance claims are not only water, it's not only flood, but it's also fire, wind, any damage of the sorts. Before any of these things happen, it's good to understand what's on your policy too. So go back through your policy, call your insurance company so that you're clear about what's covered and what's not covered, so that if something happens, you know what to do. So back to the contractor. It's good to have a contractor that you know, that you trust, because we find in a lot of these, even insurance projects, where they're literally telling you what they're covering. There are some I would say trap doors that the insurance company can direct you into. It's all about knowing what to say and what not to say to an insurance company. My advice is always, as the customer, only answer the questions that you have to answer, the ones that you know 100%. For instance, like if you have a flood in your basement, immediately you really don't know where it came from, unless it's obvious, a pipe busted, right? And you can say that. But there are things that are covered in your policy, and there are things that are not covered. So you want to make sure that you don't tell your insurance company or have them lead you into a direction where they can deny the claim. That's very, very important, right? So here's the call. You call the insurance company, they ask you what would happen, right? I just have water in my basement. Do you know where it's coming from? Now, if it's a busted pipe, I would say I obviously can see that there's a busted pipe. If there's not a busted pipe, I don't know where it's coming from, right? And let them come out, send an adjuster out to your home and find out what's going on. So the things that you don't want to do is to guess and say, oh, I think it's coming from the basement back door. That might be something that's not covered in your claim. So it's important to don't give information that you don't know 100%, because they are recording the conversation, and they have to accept or deny a claim. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these insurance jobs. Now, like I said, have a good contractor, somebody that you trust in your home, because again, they're in your home. It's a longer project, so it's not a quick thing, right? And there's going to be water restoration that comes before the contractor, where they cut all the drywall open, all the damaged items, and they're going to dry out the space first. So know who you also having in your home. That's the most important thing. That's what I would have to say. That's the message that I want to get across today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell so you are notified every time we drop a new video. I hope you like what we're doing on the channel. Please continue to support us. Again, we are here to help you work your way through home improvement, through things that you're doing at your business. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments below. I will answer every comment to the best of my ability. I appreciate all the support, appreciate all the love. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.